Hello, Rajveer ma'am, I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Now I think we should start.
Okay, sir. Good evening, all. I, Rajveer Kaur, welcome you all in International Short-Term Training Program on Computer-Aided Drug Designing and Molecular Dynamics Simulations 2023, organized by MTTF Society of Bioinformatics under the aegis of MacTech Thinking Foundation. We had successfully completed our 2 sessions. First one was on virtual screening and drug development, and second one was on homology development by Dr. Pradeep Natarajan. Today is our 3rd session by Dr. Praveen Kumar. I welcome Dr. Praveen Kumar and all the participants. Thank you, sir. I wanted to give a brief introduction of Dr. Praveen Kumar. Dr. Praveen Kumar presently working as postdoctoral fellow in University of Ottawa, Canada. He is working on RNA sequence data analysis for muscle regeneration. He also worked as bioinformatics scientist in Tata Medical Center, Kolkata, and had some better exposure on cancer research. He has done his bachelor BTech in biotechnology and master's degree MTech in bioinformatics, and have a good skill in programming languages such as C, C++, Perl, Python, R, etc., and use of various open source as well as commercial bioinformatic tools such as VLife, MDS, GeneSpring, DNA, STAR, etc. He has published a total of 18 SI papers. He has also developed and got a copyright for 2 softwares. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. I welcome you again. Kindly, I would like to invite you to start today's session. Kindly, over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for the nice introduction.
Welcome, sir.
So I will start my session now. So today I'm going to take some classes on Python, basics of Python and its application in bioinformatics. So let me share my screen first.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, I want to know like how many people are from like I just want to know the background of the participants, because today I'm going to teach about Python. So that is a scripting language, and I just want to know like how many people are aware of like programming languages like C, C++, R, Python. So that will be like, it will be easy for me to understand so that I can deliver the better lecture. So yeah, participants can they switch on raise their hands, like who are having the experience on programming languages. No one? So no one have experience or any exposure to programming languages. So then I think if no one is there, so it is totally new for everyone. So I will just start. So can everyone see my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So before starting this session, I just want you to install the Python software in your computers. So I hope everyone is using Windows. So for that, actually, you need to download. I'll just share that link. So I'm sharing the link in the chat box. So you can just click that link and download and install that particular software in your analog systems. So I hope everyone is using Windows. So it will be easy for you to install. Just you have to download that particular link. So it will download one .exe file. You need to double click that and it will install. So once if you complete the installation, so if you want to open the Python editor, so what you have to do is, I will just show that on my screen. So once if you install the software, like if you want to open the Python editor, you have to type Python IDLE. So you will find, like, suppose if you type py, you will get that app. So that is IDLE Python. So if you want to double click that, then your particular window will open like this. So you have to start coding in this particular interface. So before doing that, I hope everyone is following. Like if you have any doubts, you can ask me, you can interrupt me, and like if you are facing any trouble in installing the software, so please let me know. I will just help you with that. Okay. So first you need to respond, like that is the thing which I expect. Have installed the software, like what is the status of that? Everyone following like what I'm saying? So please click that link, install the software so that we can start the session.
Sir, can you please increase the font size of the text in this Python?
Sorry.
Please increase the font size in Python. Font size are too small.
Okay. No, I will do that. First, let them install that software. So first I will take the class, then session I will take. After that, I will do some like practical things. So please let me know once if you install the software. So that I can start the tutorial session now. Okay. So okay, I will start my lecture now. So once you install the software, like you don't need to do anything. Suppose if you want to open the ideally, you have to just type in the search bar. You have to just type ideally or Python. So it will open. That app will be open. So once if you are good with the basics, then we can start coding there. So I will give a small introduction on Python, like what it is exactly and how we can use it. So what are the advantages? So after the tutorial session, after the session, I will share you this PDF so that you can follow. So Python is nowadays, if you see, there are so many programming languages. You can interrupt me in between, no problem. If you have any doubts or if you are not able to follow, please let me know so that I can clear your doubts. So don't hesitate. You can stop me in between if you want. So I don't know like how many people are having some experience on coding, but I assume nobody is having. So I will start my lecture as a basic thing which everyone has to understand, right? So first of all, what is programming? Like programming is like something like expressing. You have to make understand the computer like to do particular task. So if you talk, it will not like computer will not understand. So you have to feed that by some language that is called programming language, so that the system has. So everyone starts with C language. I hope people are aware of that. So C language is nothing but like that is a basic one. Suppose if you want to start your career in programming, like you should know C language. So that is a basic thing. So So you will express your code in the terms of programming language so that computer can understand and it will perform particular task and it will give the output, right? So when you do this, so initially it started with C, then C++ has come, then Java, like C# has come in between. Then we got R, we got Python. So during this, there are a lot of applications for each programming language. So that depends upon how you want to use. Like some applications are good with C language, some applications are good with C++, some applications are good. If you see the Python language, right, like science field and deep learning, machine learning. So there are lots of fields in which Python program, people are using Python programming. So let's talk about, biotechnology or bioinformatics now. So everyone knows what is bioinformatics. Already, I think Dr. Pradeep has given some introduction about bioinformatics, protein, mRNA, like DNA, RNA, protein, these things, and also I think people are aware of that. So how this Python programming is linked to bioinformatics? Why we have to learn programming language when we are pursuing a career in bioinformatics? So that is a very interesting question. So when you talk about that, if you join any, like suppose if I am a bioinformatics, so I studied a bioinformatics, MTech in bioinformatics, so I know some programming languages. So how I'll use that in biology field, right? So if you see, if you go to different labs in biology, so people will generate lots of data, genomic data, proteomic data, so many data. There are lots of data, chipset data, a lot of things. So what happens here is, suppose if you talk about DNA sequence, so that will be very huge. Suppose if you take a genome of particular organism, so it will be very, it will be very huge. How to analyze it, what information it have, so what information can it give, right? So when you talk about that, there are a lot of, suppose if it is a DNA sequence, what are the things present in that, like you will find ATGC, right? Sometimes you will find mutations in that, sometimes you will have mismatch, sometimes you'll have gaps in there. So who will tell you that? Right. So bioinformatician can tell you, like you have gap here, you have mismatch here, so you have extra sequence here. So how will you do that? My voice is clear, or it is breaking?
Sometimes it's breaking, sir.
Okay. So it's clear, or sometimes it is breaking. Okay. Yeah. So I hope people are following. If you have any doubts, you can interrupt me in between, no problem. So how will you analyze that kind of DNA sequence? So we will analyze that kind of DNA sequence using programming languages like Python, R, Perl. So that's why, as a bioinformatician, you are supposed to know all these things, at least basics you should know, like how to use particular programming languages, how to use those, how to utilize that for particular like DNA sequence, RNA sequence, or protein sequence. So what information you will get from that, like how will you analyze? So as a bioinformatician, your part is, after knowing programming languages, you have to analyze the genomic data, proteomic data, chipset data, and you have to explain the wet lab people who are willing to know some things. Like they want to know the particular domain in that sequence. They want to know some repetitive sequence which will perform particular function. So it will make people, so biological people, easy to understand. Okay, because they don't want to do they don't want to come back again and check everything, and they don't want to do all this stuff which is not their expertise. So that's why that's why nowadays, if you see, the bioinformatics is little bit expanding everywhere. So especially in biotechnology field, if you see this application is growing. Suppose if you
We are unable to hear you,
know this kind of programming languages, that will put you ahead actually. Am I audible? Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir, you can audible now.
Okay. Yeah. So that is a small introduction about programming in about bioinformatics. So I'll quickly go what is Python, like how it is useful. Okay. So this is a high-level programming language. So Python is called a high-level programming language. So its syntax allows programmers to express concepts in fewer lines of code. So for every programming language, you will have a particular syntax. For C, you will have a particular syntax. For R, you will have a particular syntax. Every programming language have different way to express actually. So here the Python language, actually the main advantage here is it will allow programmers to express concepts in fewer lines. So suppose one example is, suppose if you compare C with Python, right? So what happens here is, suppose if you want to write a program on, if you want to write a simple program on sorting some elements. So suppose I will give you some list of elements like numbers, and I will ask you to sort that, right? So if you want to do that in C language or C++, so you have to write a very big code that depends upon what kind of sorting you are doing. So there are different sorting techniques like linear sort, binary sort. So each one have advantages and disadvantages also. The thing is here, you have to write a big code. It will be around, so suppose if you want to write a code on sorting elements, so a list of numbers. So you may have to write 100 lines of code, which is a little bit hectic actually. So when I compare this with Python, how it will be useful, like within it shows the difference. So there is a big difference when I compare C language and Python. So that is the advantage. That's why people want to use nowadays. And the application of Python is everywhere nowadays. Like it is in deep learning, machine learning, data science, business analytics. So there is a need to learn Python if you are really interested in, suppose if you want to shift your career to IT. So suppose if someone want to pursue their career in data science, then you have to learn Python. So that's why learning Python have so many advantages. If you are a bioinformatician too, you have a little bit of advantage, because nowadays new module has come in Python that is called BioPython. So that will be very useful for analyzing the biological information. So there are a lot of advantages. So that depends upon how you are using also. Like sometimes what will happen is we will just learn the basics. After that, we will never practice that. Then we'll forget again. So in your resume, you'll just write, I know Python language, like, but you have done it long ago. That just the basics. You will forget. So for any programming language, not only for Python, R or C, you have to practice it. Okay, once if you are exposed to nice basics, after that you need to practice actually. So more practice, you will become a better programmer. So that is the thing. So if some people, like, I don't know, like everyone will not get interest to learn the programming languages, but people who are interested have to practice so that you will become like little bit expert in that, right? So once if you install this, I already told you how to open that Python editor. So that is called IDLE. So that is the official Python editor actually. So that is included with Python. So there are different softwares for running Python programs. So here I'm just showing Python, but there is PyCharm. There is Google Colab. If you type Google Colab there, you can find Google Colab. So that is like server type of thing. You can especially work on Python. So Google Colab. So you can run Python notebooks there also. So there are different types of softwares for running this Python programming. So that depends upon what you want to install actually. So some people like to work in Google Colab. Some people like to work in PyCharm. Some people want to work with Python. So which platform is good for you, you have to decide, and like which you think it is comfortable, so that you can start that and you can start learning that. So once I will just show you the Python IDLE now. So once if you install, you have to type like this, like what I'm showing. Yeah, so you will get this Python IDLE, right? So ideally Python. So double click that. So like you will get this kind of editor. So you have to write your code here. So like now we will see what are the different features which we have there. So it is a multi-window test agent. So you'll have some indentation also in that. So it is a basic debugger and integrated shell. So this ideally is integrated with the software which we install. Okay. Now we will do some little bit basics in that, like how to like what are the applications at least. So we have to know some applications at least, so that when we are writing some small codes, we need to like you need to understand that. So first application of Python is it can be used as a calculator. So this Python interpreter acts as simple calculator. Syntax is very straightforward. So now I will just show you that. So this is a Python window. As I told, this can be used as a calculator. Like, so suppose if I want to add two numbers, right? So 2 plus 2, 4. Suppose I want to calculate the power of particular number. So I want to calculate 2 power 6. So how will I do that? So 2 like this, right? So 2 power 6 is 64. So like this. So once if you open this IDLE shell of Python, so you can do this kind of operations, right? Suppose if you want to store some value in a variable, so like this you can do, right? So that's me here. I am storing the variable of 18 is my variable, and I'm storing that in X. So that means this 18 was stored in X. So when I type X, I have to get this value like this. So I am typing another number here, Y is equal to 18. Right. Now I want to add these two numbers. So here, the simple thing is I'm storing two variables here in X and Y. So I'm adding that. So I'm getting the desired output. Okay, so there are some rules when you are not doing these things. I will just quickly go to that and yeah. The first concept which I am going. So what is a variable? So variable is name of an object that contain a value or information such as text. As I showed you now, just suppose if I want to store a number in one particular variable X or A here. So I have to assign some number to that. Like I will take one variable and I will store that in particular value. Some value I will store it. So I have to declare that, right? You must declare a variable before you can assign value to it. So the compiler does not select, before, if you declare like that, then compiler will understand, yeah, he is trying. So what is this? When I type X is equal to 18. I did not show 18 on the next time. What is wrong? So if you have to type X again, okay. So here you are storing that variable, right? You are storing that value X is equal to 18, right? So that means you are storing that variable in X. So suppose if you want to see that again, you have to type X, then only you will get that particular value. I will quickly show that. Okay. So yeah. So X is equal to, now I'm storing new variable here. X is equal to 36. Okay. This is what is your question. So X is equal to 36 in the sense I am storing the value here is 36 in the variable called X. Okay. Now I want to see what is stored in X. Okay. You have to type that name, then only you will get that. Otherwise you will not get. So that is not a mistake actually. That is not. So you will once if you get error now, like I will just show you. Yeah. So now I stored this value, right? X is equal to 36 in minutes. So I created two variables here. One is X and another one is Y. So I didn't create another third variable. So how will I get error? So I just want to type Z and see. See here what it says. Name Z is not defined. That means I didn't create that variable. So I only created two variables there. One is X, another one is Y.
We are unable to hear you, sir, now.
Error, right? That is like you says like this. So trace.
Screen is not visible, sir, now. We are unable to hear you.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Presentation is visible now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have to assign that value to it. Okay. So then that means we have to store that variable. Okay. So one good example here is you can see A is equal to 3. That means I'm storing the value of 3 in A. Okay. Suppose if I want to print that, how will I do? So simple syntax is here. So you have to store that A is equal to 3, then you have to print that so that it will print that particular value. So what output I will get here in the particular program? Anyone?
Number 3, sir, I think so.
Yes, yeah. Because we are, like you people have to respond. Okay, so that is what I expect. Suppose if I'm asking something, right, someone has to respond so that I can. Otherwise, I don't know like how I am delivering this. Okay. So here, the value which you are going to output which you are going to get is 3. That means we are storing this value 3 in A, and we are asking it to print, right? So quickly, I will show you that. Suppose if you use print, how does it work? I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible now.
Yes, visible.
Yeah. So A is equal to 3, right? Now I need to print that. So if you want to print, right, like that particular value, if you type A, it will come. Suppose now I want to use this syntax. So it will print. So there is no difference actually. Here, the difference is here. We want to know the value of A. So whether you can type the variable name or you can directly use print keyword. So that is a keyword actually. So suppose if you want to print something in Python, you have to use this syntax. Okay. Print is the name. So you have to open the bracket. Then you have to write that variable name. So here. Sorry, excuse me. So here the value of A is 3. So what we are going to get is 3. Okay. So everyone install the software, no? So when I am teaching side by side, if you do this, then it will be easy for me and for you to understand.
Yes, sir, sure, sir. Yeah, I'm guessing that.
Yeah. So okay. Again, so if you use print here, it will print that particular number. Now, so in this case, so you can see so the value which we stored in A is like it is a whole number, no? Like you don't have any decimal there. Suppose I'm storing some new value. Okay, so I'm storing A is equal to 2.5. So what will be my output? So let's try that. Okay, so here I am taking A again. So I am storing 2.5, right? So I'm typing A 2.5. Okay, so the advantage here is you can also declare when you are when you are declaring a variable, you can also store the decimal number also in that. Okay, so initially we stored whole number, that is 3, which is not having any decimal points. After that, again we are changing the variable value and we are storing that as 2.5. So we are getting that particular particular value exactly. Okay. Now the next thing is how we have to name the variable. Okay, so the variable, how we have to do. So now I started I named the variable as A, right? So it can be alphanumeric. That means the variable name can be alphanumeric. So when you are declaring a variable, if you want to name that, you can name it as A1, A2, A3, A4 like that. Okay. So remember this is a thumb rule for that. Your variable has to start with a letter, not a number. Okay. Because people can ask me easily, like, it can be alphanumeric. That means we can use both letters and numbers for naming the variables. But if you start your variable name with numerics, then you will get an error. So that is what it is. It says. So here you see, this is one new variable, which is alphanumeric. As I told, variable names can be and there are no need to be in single letters. Up to now, what we have done is we are storing the variables X, Y, Z like this, but you can store in single letters and you can also store in double letters. But yeah, it can be alphanumeric, but there are some rules for doing that. As I told, it cannot be start with number. It has to start with letter. Okay. So the one example is here. You see, ABC123 is a variable name, and I'm storing 5. Okay, so I will do this in compiler. Okay. So now I want to retrieve that. Okay. So I didn't get any error. That means the naming of variable is perfect. First, suppose I am storing one new variable, that is 1a. Okay, is equal to 3. What it says, invalid decimal literal. That means your variable, and it will show you the error where it is. Like it will show that particular this red mark which you are showing is. It will highlight the error where you are getting the error. That means it says the error is here. You are making mistake here. So you have to correct that. So what do you understand from this? Okay, is spacing crucial in writing scripts? Definitely yes. I will just discuss that, like, in Python, it's very good. If you ask questions like this in between, like people will be familiar of what I'm talking and I can easily clear the doubts. Sorry, can I spell your name? Stephanie Elrib. Okay. Okay. So spacing is very very.
We are unable to
Crucial,
hear you,
like
sir.
now we are just talking about that much, like we didn't go. Is it audible now?
Yeah, now it's okay, sir.
Okay. So spacing is very crucial, obviously, because as I told, Python deals with indentation. So when we are writing some small scripts, you people will understand what does it mean, like what is, we will get, see in Python, we will get indentation errors. Okay. So the indentation errors means that, that is about spacing. Suppose if you are not giving your space properly, it says indentation error. So that is one. I will just show you that error, how you will get. Okay. So okay. Suppose if you are, we will move forward. Suppose if you are naming a variable. Now we named our variables using single letter codes, and we named our variables using double quotes. Like one example is ABC123. So that will be a little bit easy. Okay, suppose here you can see the difference here. Number of sequences is equal to 200. So this is a variable. So what is the variable name here? Number of sequences. Okay. So sometimes you will find, suppose if you have a spaces in between number. Suppose if you have a space between number and see R and O. When I see it visual, like when I visualize it, for me, I don't feel like I feel a little bit uncomfortable, like I don't like that kind of naming. I don't want spaces in between. Okay. I just want to include some special character in that. So this is a basic practice. So suppose if you have a variable name like which is little bit big. Please, I'm not able to open the software after installation. Okay. So what is your problem? You know, you can just switch on your microphone and explain the issue, right?
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the interruption, sir. Good afternoon, sir. We appreciate
Yeah, it's
you.
okay. Yeah, fine.
Please,
Yeah.
after installation, I clicked the software to open so I could follow this coding environment, but I'm not able to open. I don't know what I should do.
Okay. So can you please open your share your screen like once so that I can solve your problem? Because like any others are facing this issue.
Okay, sir. Let me. Okay, sir. You can continue the class. Sir. I'm with this class through my phone, so I want to connect from my laptop, so I can show you later, sir. You can continue with the class. I will try to open the
Thank you very much.
Zoom class on my system.
Yeah. So yeah, you can simply like your installation is is successful or not? Because if your installation is not successful,
the
then you
installation is
can't
successful.
open that particular window.
Yes, sir. It's successful. The installation is successful.
Yeah, then I think you will get it. Okay. Yeah. So please let me know if you are facing trouble. You can simply type as I told, right? You can just type ideally, you will get this kind of app. If you double click that, then you can open that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. You can continue the class.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So let's continue. Okay. So yeah, so I'm talking about naming of variables here. So the naming of variables you can do in various ways, as I told. But I prefer a particular way, as I told. Suppose if my variable name is little bit lengthy, then I prefer to use underscores in that, so that it will make users to easily visualize it. Like it will make us easy to understand. Suppose if I'm not using space here, you can see here the difference between these two variables. Number of sequences. Here they have used underscore. Here they didn't use any, like there is no space, but it is little bit, difficult. Obviously, it is a little bit difficult to read. I don't know, like sometimes I think this is some new word, number of sequences, which is not correct. So that is one type of thing which you want to, like, suppose if you want to know, then it is okay. Like suppose if you want to follow, if you want to use underscore, you can use. You can also if you don't want to use underscore, that is also fine, but make sure you are naming your variable correct. One basic rule here is your variable should not start with number. That is the basic rule. So after that, whatever you want to do, you can do. If you want to use space, you can use space. If you want to give underscore, you can give underscore. If you don't want to give underscore, but the basic rule is your variable should not start with number. As I told, 1A, that is not allowed, because the naming of variable can be alphanumeric, but that doesn't mean that it has to start with number, right? So that is one basic rule here. So about variable with letter with number. Okay. So as I told, if you want to perform numeric operations, I already showed you how to do that. This is one small example for that. So here I'm like storing two variables here. A is equal to 2.5, B is equal to 3 and C is equal to A plus B. Suppose if I am printing that, the value which I will get is 5.5. That means 3.2.5. That means 3 plus 2.5. So 5.5. So here I already stored two variables. One is 2.5 and 3. So I am creating one more new variable and I am storing the addition of those two variables. A is 2.5, B is 3. So I need to print them. That means that is the desired output which I have to get. So that is 5.5, right? So that's about variables, like how you have to do. There are a lot of ways, suppose if you want to do some basic operations like this, you can simply type whatever you want. Suppose, see, if you want to multiply 12 into 2, you can do that. So that's what I told. It can be used as a calculator. So 12 to 24, I want to divide 30 by 3. So 10. So this is the basic thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I already told you about this, like variables, what does this, how to store the variables, how to add. Okay. Yeah. So next one is a little bit interesting, guys. Like I'm storing that particular value, right? Like as I told you, I am taking one variable here. So I'm storing, see, I want to store 54 in Y. So Y is equal to 54. So I'm giving my variable, right? Like I'm storing that variable before that. Suppose I want to give that input. So manually, I want to give the input. I don't want to store that particular value. See here, one example is Y is equal to 54. That means I already know which variable I am going to store. So before executing the program, so Y is equal to 54. So I assign value 54 to Y. Okay. I want to give some, like by keyboard, I just want to give some input. Okay. How I will give. Okay. So I will just show you the syntax for that. So you people can try and see. So I'm quickly going to this. Okay. So G is equal to, G is a variable name here. Okay. Int is what type of input you want to give. Here I want to give integer. So that means, that one I have to declare int. Okay. Input in the sense, what does it mean? That means I want to give my input by keyboard. Okay, so I have to enter here. So it will, the compiler will ask me what number you want to enter here. Okay, see. So int is integer, the type of data type which I want to enter. Input means I want to enter that value by keyboard. Okay. So this will print here. So you can type. So once if you click that, it will ask you what number you want to enter. So I will just give 89. Okay. Now what value it will store in G? If you want to know that, simply you can type G, then it will give you. So I entered 89. Okay, so it is storing like that. If you want to print that, like this is similar thing. So I'll get the same value. So similar thing. So the only difference is here, you are directly declaring here. See, A is equal to 3. Here I am directly declaring the variable itself. Here, I just want to enter that manually. Okay, it's running. Okay. So manually, during runtime, I just want to enter that particular input. So it will ask you what number you want to enter. So I gave my input here. That means I want to store 89 in this G. So when I type G, I will get 89. So this is the way, right? Any questions? Everything going well? Any
No,
questions?
sir. Still.
No, it's understood.
Okay. Yeah. So you people have to, okay. Someone has raised a hand. Yeah, you can just, like. Turn on your microphone and you can ask. Chinvi, L. Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah. Tell me. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I realized that when you were inputting your commands, they were just prompting as if you have it before in your system. But in my case, I have to type. But your case, when you just inputted that G, the thing just appeared. What number is it already in your system?
No. Still you are reading. Actually, your voice is breaking a bit.
I mean, when you were typing, when you type G, the thing just prompted, it just came up. But in my case, I have to type. Do you have that already in your system that programmed that when you want a command, it just appeared?
Yeah. I will just share you that in chat box. Yeah. So I'm just sharing that. So that is there in my system. That means you can. I already shared you. Okay. So this one you can change if you want. Enter see here I gave UR. You can change that. So whatever you put in inverted commas, that will print there. Okay. So once if you type that, then prompt will come asking you enter a number here. So here I gave enter your number here. So that's why it is printing that. Suppose if you ask enter number, it will ask like it will print enter number. Okay. So whatever you are writing in inverted commas, so that will print simply. So that is simply printing that particular statement, right? So you can change that if you want. Like there is no rule that you have to, like write what I am writing in that inverted commas. You can also change that if you want. Okay. Am I clear?
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll continue. Yeah. So next concept is we learned about. So I'm simply recalling what I am. So I explained you why Python is important, why programming languages are important in bioinformatics, and what we can do with that. I just helped you to install Python. Then like we started with basic thing like variables, like how to name that particular variable, what kind of operations we can do, like so next concept, we are moving to next concept, that is modules. Like in Python, we'll have a different modules. Math module. There are different types of modules. That depends upon what kind of what I can say, like what kind of study you are doing. Like that depends upon what you want to learn. So before using that, you need to import. Okay. So if you don't import that particular module,
We unable to hear you, sir, now.
then you will get error. Okay. Do some mathematical related variable now. I'm audible?
Yeah, now it's okay, sir.
Okay. So next we are going to discuss about modules. So as a basic, I just want to introduce math module as of now, because we are dealing with basics. Okay. So there are so many modules in Python. So before starting that module, you need to import that, right? So now I am just introducing to one module that is called math module, where you can do mathematics related operations. Okay. So how will you do that? So the module name which we are going to do is math. So in Python, we need to import that. Okay. So if you want to import the math module, what is the keyword? Use import math. Okay. So the math module is imported now. Now I want to do some operations on that. How will I do that? Okay. So you know, like how you have to calculate the square root. Now I want to calculate the square root of one particular number using this math module. How will I do that? Okay. So as an initial step, I already told you that we need to import that math module. So I have done that. Now I need to calculate the square root of particular number. What type of function I will use using this math module. So math. So I already told you import math. So math dot means now we have to use the function. So square root of the number. So see, it will come like this, like what are the available functions. See, I want to just calculate. This is the advantage here. Okay. So you don't need to write, that is the advantage, Suppose if you want to calculate square root of one particular number without using math module, it will be a little bit tough for us to do that. Okay. Because if you see other programming languages like, C, C++, you don't have any module there. You don't have any math module there. So what you will do? Then you need to calculate the square root of a number. So you have to take one, you have to take the variable, you have to declare that might be 3 lines, 4 lines, we don't know. Like some people don't know like basic things, like some people don't know how to even calculate a square root using C language. Then how will you do that? The advantage of Python is with single line. That's what I tell you. Like it will express the lines of codes in lesser lines. Okay. So using math module, we can easily do that. So before doing any operations using modules, you need to import. Remember this. This is a golden rule. Okay. So you need to import that. As I told, how to import math. Okay. Now let's do some operation on this. So math, right? Dot, we have to use dot operator every time. Then it will show what are the available functions, what you can do. So you can also calculate factorial. There are so many things, even like people who are doing mathematics cannot tell all these things. I know I gamma, yeah, log, you people will know. See, suppose if you want to calculate log 10 value of particular number, you can just do that. You can also calculate log value. See, you can also calculate pi value. You can also calculate radians. See, suppose if you want to know the value of sine 30, so you can do everything. So it will simply show, suppose if you type dot and see, it will show what are the available operations you can perform. Okay. You can select. See, now as I told, you have to calculate the square root. So I have to go to S here now. Yeah, I'm just, what is this? Is this? No. Yeah, this is the square root. Okay, so now I have to, now my aim is to perform the square root. So what is the syntax for that? So now I am importing math, import math. So math dot, I have to use dot operator to get particular function dot square root. So bracket open, I have to give particular number which I want to calculate. So what is the square root of 81? 9. Okay. So 9 square is 81. So this is the advantage. So when you are using this kind of modules, other programming languages will not have this facility. Like as I'm talking about C++, C, Java, you don't have this kind of modules. So you have to write a big code for everything. So if you are moving to Python, so that makes very easy within one line. So that is the advantage. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move. Yeah. So next one is we'll just we already saw about variables. We already saw about modules. I discussed about a math module. Let's move to another concept that is called operators. So in Python you have operators. So these operators, like these are very common everywhere. Like is the
unable
code
to hear
case
you.
sensitive? Not exactly. Is it audible?
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's okay, sir.
Okay. So is the code case sensitive? As far of now, it's not a case. Like you can use capital words or small words. That doesn't matter. Okay. Python operators. We are talking about Python operators. So these are different type of operators. Plus for adding numbers, minus is for subtraction. Star for multiplication. So these are different types of operators. So when you are using code, so as I told you, like so suppose exponent, right? A power b. What does it mean? A double star b means I already showed you one example. 2 double star 6. That means 2 power 6, 64 value. So you have to know what kind of operator. So like how we have to use. So this is that thing. Suppose if you want to divide, then you have to use this. Suppose if you want to find the remainder, you have to use modulus. Okay. Suppose if you want to use exponent, a power b. Okay. Suppose if you want to do integer division or float division, so this is the way you have to represent. So you have to know like what kind of things you have to use. Like if you want to add, if you want to subtract, you have to, if you want to multiply. So these are the things which you have to do. Okay. Yeah. Next one. Even I hope everyone know about Bodmer's rule. Like about Bodmer's rule, right? Like everyone is aware of that. What is meant by Bodmer's rule?
Yes, sir. Yeah, heard about the bracket.
Yes. Yeah. I will simply show that. Yeah. So here, I don't know, like how many people are aware of Bodmer's rule. If you do simple mathematics, right? Like mathematics, this is very basic. Everyone has to know that. That is, irrespective of your field. If you are studying maths, if we are studying, like, we already studied maths from our childhood. Everyone has to know these kind of things. If you do any aptitude or any mathematical operations, sometimes, right, you see in a single expression you'll have plus, minus, subtraction, multiplication, division. So how will you calculate that? Like which one you have to take first? Like whether you have to take the variable which is using multiplication. So suppose if you are so BODMAS means like that is the order actually. So which one you have to consider first? Like in Python, we call it as PEMDAS. That means P is for parent. I just want to do this like 2 star in bracket. So let's take this. Like, I just want to show you what does it mean. Okay. So what will be the output here? Anyone?
True, sir.
Yeah. So PEMDAS rule means the value which is present in parenthesis. So this bracket is called parenthesis actually. So first it will calculate the value which is present in this parenthesis. Okay, that means first it doesn't multiply, like it doesn't multiply. So first it doesn't do multiplication. First it will calculate the value which is present in the brackets. So 3 minus 2 is 1. That means here the value will be 1 here. So 2 star 1. Then it will calculate the multiplication. So that's why 2 star 1 is 2. Okay, like this. Next one, P is for parenthesis. That means it will calculate the value which is present in the parenthesis brackets. Okay, so the representation is here like this, like this is the representation of parenthesis brackets. Okay, square bracket is different, flower bracket is different again. So E stands for exponential. That means, as I told, suppose if you want to calculate the exponent, I already told you have to use double stars. Okay, now let's see what is the value of this. So why it is, how it is 5? Can anyone can explain that? Why the output is 5 here? Why it is not
2 squared plus 1.
Yeah. Okay, so the exponent relationship which you have here is 2 star 2. That means 2 square is 4. Then it is adding that number. Okay. So the order will be like this. First, it will calculate the value which is present in parenthesis. Then it will see whether it is some exponent is there or not. Okay. M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, S for subtraction. That means if I quickly ask you what is the order of subtraction, that means it is last. Okay. Before that, you will get addition. So this is the rule. So the golden rule here is, remember this as PEMDAS. That means P for parenthesis, E for exponent, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, S for subtraction. Okay. Am I clear? Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So shall we take 5 minutes break? Breaks are allowed or not? I don't know actually.
Some other countries have
operations about variables. Like we dealt with up to now, we dealt with numerics. Okay, let go for another data type, that is strings. Like in bioinformatics, these strings are very important. Why? Because the sequences, I already talked about DNA sequence, RNA sequence. These are not numericals, so these are strings. Okay, so that means if you are a bioinformatician, but if you are a bioinformatician, suppose if you want to do some biological operations, so most probably all your sequences, DNA sequence or sequence is a strings. So you should know this basic string operations in Python, like how to do that. Okay. So now I'm going to start with that basically. So how you have to do that? Like suppose if you want to declare a string, how will you do that in Python, right? So here, so what it says, a string is a collection of one or more characters, okay, and it is enclosed in single or something which you are comfortable with. So what it says is, so let's open that terminal, command terminal now. So I'm taking a variable called a. Now I have to store the string there, not a numeric. So what is the first rule here? It is enclosed in single or double quotes when it is assigned. That means you have to enclose that particular string value using single quotes or double quotes. I will just show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm using double quotes. So how will I do that? So here, this is a string. Okay, so I have to close that, right? I have to close the double quotes. Just type A now. So, like this is one type of data type, that is a string data type. And in the variable, I'm storing that value called this is a string. So this is a character, like this is a string. That means it is a group of characters. So I have to enclose that in single quotes or double quotes, as I have done it now. So that compiler has to understand that is a string. Okay. What will happen if I am not giving that single quote or double quote? And another thing, you can also do like this. So I gave a double quotes. I can also give single quotes like this. Right. Okay. I will simply give something, name something like this. So I can also use double single quotes. So if I type A, so it will store. So that doesn't matter, The rule is here, you have to use quotes, whether it is single quote or double quote. Quotes are must. So that depends upon how you are comfortable with. Suppose if you are comfortable with double quote, you can use double quote. Suppose if you are comfortable with single quote, you can use single quote, right? Now, what if I don't use that? So simply, I started with double quote. So name, I didn't do, I didn't close that, I used a double quote in the starting of the string, but I didn't close that. So that's why it says unterminated string. So that means it is invalid data type. It's an invalid variable. Okay. So that is the thing. So next thing is you can add strings. So suppose if you have two strings, if you want to add that, how will you do that? So that is called concatenation. So suppose if you have two strings, if you want to join them, like that is called string concatenation. So you can simply use plus operator and do that. Okay. So again, I'm doing that and I'm showing you how to do that. Hopefully, I expect you people to do that. So I want to join these two strings. So another variable I'm taking. What I will do is I will simply copy this and post this in chat box so that you people can easily do, right? So here I have two string variables and I want to add. That means adding strings is called concatenation. That is not a new word actually. Suppose if you use numbers, we will say we are adding that. But strings means that is not addition. Actually, we are joining that. So that word we will say it as concatenate, right? So now I declare two string variables here. I just want to add those, like I just want to join that. How will I do that? I already told you using plus symbol, you can do that. Okay, so now I declared two variables here. C is equal to A plus B. Okay, so what will be my output now? What output I'm expecting? Suppose if I type C, so this is a string and another string. You know, this is you have two strings. If you want to join them, right? By using this plus operator, you can do that. Same program, if you want to do it in C, C++, it will be very complicated. Suppose if you have two strings, I ask you to concatenate that. You have to use separate header for that, like string.h you have to use in C. And you have to write at least 10 to 15 lines code to do that. Why should I do that in, like in C, C++ when I have this much of flexibility in Python? So that's what I want. Whenever you are learning something, suppose you are learning Python here, you should know what are the advantages, why I'm learning. Okay, then it will make you little bit exciting, like you will get that interest to learn. Otherwise, suppose if you are doing like normally, if you don't want to know the advantages, just you want to run the code, then I don't think that is useful for you. Whenever you are running each line, you should know why I'm learning Python. Then if you understand the advantages like this, oh, this is the advantage. So if some people ask you simple difference between C++ and Python, you can easily say one basic difference. Okay. Can I move forward? Is everyone following or?
Dear participant, if you have any question, please. Okay.
So you can also repeat a string. Okay, so suppose if you want to repeat a string, how to do? Here you see the variable name of the string is my_string. So the string which I want to repeat is BLA. Okay, let's do this. Okay. So I'll simply type that in chat box. Okay, so let's see that. So here the name is my string is equal to, so the string which I want to declare should be enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. So here I use single quotes. So how many times I want to repeat it? 5 times. So I am simply using *5. So now you just type my_string. You can see blah, 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 blah. Okay. So how many times it will repeat? 5 times. So how many times I want to repeat that? 5 times. So suppose if I want to repeat 10 times, simply give *10. That means simply multiply that. So that is the advantage. So another one, feature of strings. So a string is immutable. That means immutable means, I will tell what does it mean. That one string which is enclosed, the characters which is enclosed in quotation mark has been assigned. it cannot be modified. That means once if you declare a string like this, see here, the one example, see here, I declared the string. So this is a string. So this one can't be modified. Okay. But in variable, I already showed you in same variable, like I stored a 10 in, I took a variable of initial, I stored 10, then I stored 20. It is taking, so it is changing actually. So so it can be reassigned. Okay, that means you cannot modify that. I am simply taking one variable here, like m is equal to some name I am typing. Okay. Okay. So if I type m, I will get 10. So I want to change that. Again, I have to reassign that. Okay. Again, you have to take. Similarly, I already showed you that. Similarly, it works similarly like integer variables. So now I am assigning new one, my name. Okay. Okay. Am I input? See, that's what. Like it will change. If you want to change that, again you have to reassign. That's what it says. Okay. However, the variable can be reassigned. So this is perfectly legal. Okay. There are lots of things we can do. String operations. I will just explain those things so that you will get you will be familiar about that. Okay. See here. One good example. So A is equal to this is a string, right? So this is a string which I declared now. I just want to convert that into upper words. That means all capitals. How will I do that? So let me do this. Okay. So I just like I'm just sending that in chat box so that you people can copy and try that things. So let's go to the terminal now. Yeah. So A is equal to this is a string. So what if I type A? So this is the output which I get. Now I want to convert it. Suppose if you see this is you know, T is in capitals. So buying all words are in small words, right? Like I want everything should be in capital words. How will I do that? How will I change the characters of string using the string operations? So you have that easily. So what is the name of the variable here? Here, A is equal to A again. I want to compare. I want to just convert that into upper. Like means everything. Go to that upper row. Okay. Okay. Now again, you have to start the bracket and you have to close like this. Now you type, you know, that's it. So initially, when I'm storing that particular string, so that was T is capital, remaining all are small. I want that into I want that to be converted into upper, like I want to capitalize everything. So I just use that function. Similarly, if I want to convert everything into lower, what I have to do? A dot lower. That's it. So initially your T is capital. Now you see the T is small because I am asking to change everything in lower words. Okay. Next one is like, suppose if you want to know the length of that particular. So what will be the length of the string? How many characters you have here? Let's check know the length of particular string. Start. See, like how many characters you have now? 16. So it says the length of that particular string is 16. How does it 16? How it is 16? So it will count how many characters are there and it will give you the particular length. So that depends upon your characters, like how many characters are present in your string. So that will be reflected. Okay. So for your practice purpose, like I will just send you this PDF later after this session. So you can just try this, okay? Like we can't try everything in the class, right? So you need to practice something. So these are the things which you need to follow. So this is the function you have to use. See. So you can simply see the method and its description, like how to use that. Okay, so you can see what does it do. So it's like, what is the function of capitalize here? So it will capitalize the first letter of the string. Okay, count, like how many times it occurs, like. So these are the things which you have to know. So you people want me to send now, or can I send it later? Because tomorrow also I will take one session, so that you people have some, you people will have some time to do that, right? So let's move quickly to the next concept. Okay. So let me show you some more things in Python, what we can do. Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So how will we do the manipulations now? Because this is what if you are converting lower to upper to lower, suppose if you are capitalizing something, that means you are manipulating that particular string. So here you can see this is one more good example. So signal peptide. As I told, this is a bioinformatics session. So whatever I'm going to discuss about strings will be about DNA, RNA, right? So that is our main goal actually. So you can see here the signal peptide is a name of the string here. So everything is in capital if you see. So I just wanted to convert into lower. Okay. What does it mean? Can we digest the ones we have learned today? So you want to practice it? You can just switch on your what you're asking. Stephanie, someone.
I said I need to like
You're
that.
not
So I'm asking if I
audible.
can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
So yeah. You can go ahead.
Yes, I'm asking the time that today's class will end, so that personally I need to like digest what has been taught before the new. So I was
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I already sent one PDF. I am sending the PDF now itself, so that I understand. Yeah, like like you people should learn those things, right? Like
exactly.
yeah. So you people can open the PDF what I sent now, right? And if you go to page number 4, you will get this concept what I'm talking about, right? So I will go ahead. Okay. So so next one is like I just showed you how to do these basic operations. So next one is, let's talk about some DNA, RNA, guys, right? Because our main goal is to do some basic operations on DNA and RNA sequence, right? Yeah. So let's write one simple program. Okay. So I'm going to ask one basic question here. So what is the difference between DNA and RNA? Anyone? What is the basic difference between DNA and RNA? I expect at least one person has to answer this. This is a very basic question, right? No one? Surprising, man. What is the difference between DNA and RNA? Someone is yes. Okay. Okay. So you can switch on your microphone once and you can explain it more in detail. Okay. Whatever you told is it's correct. Yeah, you can talk. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So, okay, let me explain that. People are responding. So now it's time to me to respond. Okay, so the basic difference is, DNA is double stranded and RNA is single stranded. Yeah, that is the thing which when we visualize that, graphically. Okay, but components wise, like DNA is made up of purines and pyrimidines. Everyone knows that, right? Like, what is the composition of DNA? Adenine, thymine, guanine. Can anyone tell what is the component of DNA? Yeah, one contains sugar, the one lacks oxygen. That is fine. Like I am just talking about like the component. Like what is the major difference? Like this is okay. Yeah, structure wise you can say one contains sugar, one lacks oxygen. That's what it says. Deoxy. But the major difference, like, yeah, DNA has adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. Exactly. So RNA also have similar things, but what is the difference there? In the place of thymine, yeah. Yes, exactly. That is the question which that is the answer which I'm expecting. Yeah, so DNA have adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, but when you take single stranded RNA, you have uracil in the place of thymine. Okay, now guys, like now we completed that, like we know what is the composition of DNA and RNA. We are clear. Now let's come back to Python, right? Now I will give you one DNA sequence, okay, which is having adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. Can you convert that sequence to uracil? Can you convert that one to uracil? Is it possible? If how we can do that in Python programming? Like, what is the basic algorithm of that? See, before writing any coding, any programming, first thing is algorithm, right? Like algorithm, okay, like steps, how you have to solve that particular program. Now, what is the program I'm giving you? Take one string, okay, that is a DNA string. You know what you have to declare in that double quotes, ATGC. Okay, now you have to convert that particular string to RNA. You know what to do that, like you need to replace thymine and you need to put uracil there. How will you do that? So this is how you build your program, right? Like this is how you have to think. This is how you have to that's why like if your basics are strong, no, you will easily by writing small programs, no, you will become expert in writing programs. So that's why before writing program, no, visualize it, like visualize in your brain exactly what you have to do, like what are the algorithms you have to, like what type of, like how you have to do that, like what is the initial step, what I have to declare, what I have to do that, right? So now let's do that program. If anyone eager to write that, can you type something like in the chat box and send me that? I expect at least one has to, like one has to write that program, because it's very easy, right? Like I just asked you to take a DNA sequence, what you have to declare that string. Suppose if you take one particular string, G is equal to, or M is equal to ATGC. So you have to convert that into RNA sequence. How you have to do is, you have to replace that thymine, and in the place of thymine, you have to write uracil. Sorry, but I have to know the amino acid codes. No, who told that? I'm not talking about protein sequence here. Okay. So, like there is a difference, like DNA, mRNA, protein. Now the basic how the cascade will be. So initially DNA will be there, and it will undergo transcription and it will produce mRNA. So that is called transcription. From mRNA, you will get protein. So that is what, like block of amino acids is a protein sequence. Okay. That means 3 nucleotides will code for 1 amino acid. I'm not talking about amino acid here or protein. I am just talking about DNA and RNA. What is the difference between them? Like you have to replace thymine and you have to put your uracil in that. How you have to do that? Okay. So let's do using string operations. How will you do that? One line, man. It's very easy. So I am taking one string here, that is DNA sequence. Okay. So yeah. So you can simply see what is stored in DNA seq. So what is stored there? TTG, GC, TAG, right? So that is my DNA sequence, which is having only ATGC. Okay, ATGC will repeat, no, in DNA sequence. Now I asked you to convert that into RNA sequence. How will I do that? So I have to take one more new variable, that is mRNA seq. Okay. Now what you have to do? So what is initial string? DNA seq. Okay, you have to use that. Okay. So if you use dot operator, you will find what are the things you can do. You need to replace, right? So go to replace, RE. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now I told again, you have to start this. So what you have to replace? You have to replace thymine, T, with uracil, that is U. Okay. So T. So the letter which you want to replace should come first always. Remember this. This is a golden rule, right? Which word you want to replace with? T. I want to replace with U. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. So DNSSEC is a already declared string, and I'm using dot operator. I told when I want to do a manipulation, I have to use dot. So what I have to do here in algorithm, it is very clear that you have to replace T with uracil. So T with, so what is the code for T here, thymine here, T here. So thymine is T, U is for uracil. So you have to replace T with U. So the character which has to be replaced has to come first. And remember, always you have to declare that in quotes, whether it is single quote or double quote, because this is a string, no? So if you don't declare, then you will get an error. Now just type that. Now just check whether your mRNA sequence has come or not. See that, like your all T's are replaced with U. Okay, so that's it. See, it's very simple, no? Like it's not that much difficult. No, it's very clear. I will just simply send this code now. Okay. See, just one line. That's it. Okay, so you can just simply type that what I sent in chat box in your terminal window, and you can easily get the desired output what you got. Yeah. Okay, so next move to some other new concept. Next one is slicing. Okay, so what is meant by slicing is cutting in. Suppose if you have a bigger string, you want to make it shorter. That is called substring. So how will you do that? That is called slicing. Okay, how will you exactly do that? That method is called like breaking into parts is called slicing. So that slicing you can indicate it by square brackets actually. So I will just show one example here so that you will understand. And remember always when you are slicing, index means it will start with 0. That means, see, so this is A is a string here, right? The index means from where it started, like, so the base address. So the base address of S is 0. That means the starting letter will be 0 always. The starting base address will be 0 always. So you have to be, so suppose if you want to slice, you have to know that base address. If you don't know that base address, then you don't know from where you have to start. Some people will think that we have to start from 1. Okay, so you don't know. Some people will think maybe we have to start with 2. We don't know. So based on that, based on your string, you have to start. See, suppose I will just show one example here so that you will understand. So this is my string now. Okay, A is equal to, yeah. Now I want to slice she from this. So I just want to slice this she. How will I do that? How will I do that now? Okay, so simply the syntax for this is I am taking one more new variable. Okay, b is equal to. So which one I want to slice? The variable is a. Okay. Square brackets. So we have to start square brackets. Now, I just want to slice she from the above variable. How will I do that? So I already told the base address will start with 2 or with 0 always. Okay, that means I have to slice from 0 because S, the base address of S is 0. So colon you have to use. Colon means you have to you have to make understand Python programming like Python compiler that I want to slice. So I am using the colon operator. So this is a syntax. Okay. So what is the base address of H here? Anyone? What is the base address of H? What is the base address of E? Anyone? Okay. What is? I'm just talking about base address. Okay. So what is the base address here? So suppose if you take this one example here, I told, see, this is the string. A is equal to she turned into a newt. So she's turned into newt. This is a string. So this string will have a base address. So that will start from 0. That means the position of S is 0. Okay. So that is the base address actually. So similarly, now what is the position of, what is the base address of H? Anyone? Now I think you
1.
understood the question, right? What I explained. Yes, exactly. Okay. So when I am slicing the string into substrings, I should know the base address. That is the main logic here. So I should know the base address. So now I want to slice she, right? I want to slice she here. So what will come after this column? Anyone? So the base address of H is 1, the base address of E is 2, right? That means I have to give 2 or 3. What I have to give there? So I need to slice she from this string. I know S will start with 0, so that's why I gave 0 here. Sorry. Okay, so let's use 2 and see what output we'll get. So let's type T. Okay, see what happened here is that means it is slicing up to the base address of 2, right? 0, 1, 2. So you are not getting E here. So suppose if you want to get E here, what you have to do? Again, go back to your code. I want to slice she. So 0. So I have to use colon again. Now type B. That's it. So I just sliced she. So what is the basic syntax for this? A is the name of the string variable which you want to slice. 0 to 0 colon 3 is the base address which we want to remove. Okay, so this is the basic syntax actually. You understood? Any doubts you have? Okay. So let's stop here. So you can just I already sent one PDF. Now I will send one more. Okay. So you people can practice that and please be on time. Okay, when session starts, no, you should be on time so that like I have some other works to do so that I can just do those things. Okay, so tomorrow I think I will update the time before starting the session. So I expect you people to be on time and at least practice some things, like what I told today. If you practice those things, then I think it will be easy for you. Okay, then okay guys, see you tomorrow. Okay, if you have any doubts, we can discuss tomorrow. So up to strings, you have to just practice what I will, so that tomorrow we will do some little bit in-depth programs, right? And it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. Shalom. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts if you have up to now? Yeah. PDF, definitely. I already sent one PDF. Okay. The file which I am going to send now is a little bit big one. So yeah, I will send that. Not a problem. Okay. So any other questions you have? Anyone?
Dear participants, please ask if you have any query.
Yeah, I think there are no questions. Yeah, fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The stage is yours. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And thank you so much, sir, for your valuable session. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So the PDF I will share. Now itself I will share. I will just in the group so that you people can practice. So I request all participants at least practice some, like the things which I told today. So it will, you will be familiar. So for tomorrow's class, like what I'm going to teach. Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
We are grateful.
We can leave now.